Michael's had. So what?
Do you know if it's his first book?
I don't know that. Hello from the Bronx. Cool. We're right down the street. From Isla, Cayman. Let's see here. Juan Carlos. Oh, Alessandro. Are you in, where are you, Alessandro? Are you in Italy, Venice? Some people are Red Sox, San Francisco Giants rematch. I wish my Yankees were on, but maybe next year. I'm looking for Michael Dell's comment to pop up. And when I see it, I'll pop in, and then Michael and I will talk a little bit about his book. Michael's had an extraordinary career from Texas. 56 years young. If you have not read his book, go buy it, go get it. I'm sure you're gonna learn a lot. And it's extraordinary the company he's built with Dell Computers. Now he's ventured into NBA basketball team with San Antonio, and also got one of the most respected investment firms called MSD Capital. It's massive. And they do all type of great work.
Say the name of the book.
Yeah. The name of the book is Play Nice, But Win. It's a great title. I mean, I actually think you can do both. There's no need to do bad things, take shortcuts. I think Michael has done it as well as anybody, and he's been a role model for many. Does a tremendous amount for charities, philanthropies. I will ask him about that as well.
They're working on it. Hang tight. Rachel says.
We're working on it. Michael is, whoever thought that in a tech exercise I would beat Michael Dell? My daughter would say, that's impossible. Hey, Nadine. How was class, Nadine? Nadine, one of the great world class at A-Rod Corp. He does content for us. Nadine, very talented, from Slovenia.
Wow.
Getting married soon. Living the American dream, Nadine. Guadalupe from Dominican Republic. Guadalupe is my lady. Guadalupe used to clean my ears when I was 9 years old. Remember that, Guadalupe? She was my neighbor in Dominican Republic. Actually, I was 6 or 7 years old. And her two daughters, Laura and Patricia, were like my sisters. I see Michael Dell here.
Perfect.
And then I'm gonna go over here.
There he is.
Right
Yep.
Here. Go live with Michael.
Yeah.
Perfect. Now to one of the least tech savvy people in the world. Hey, there's Michael. Hey, Michael.
Hey.
My claim to fame is that in a tech race, I was able actually to get on closer than you because I'm the least tech savvy person in the world, and I'm talking to one of the most tech savvy people in the world.
Well, not quite sure how that happened, but I'm going to give you on that one.
Mike, I'm so excited. Thank you. I received my book just a few days ago. I haven't finished it yet, but what I've read, I love. And I'd love to start with your title. I mean, the title is incredible because what I try to advocate and what I learned from some of my mentors, what made you come up with this title for someone who's a tycoon and has done so much in business, now in sports, MSD, and you do so much giving back to the community? Tell me about the title, Play Nice, But Win.
Right. So the title actually comes from my parents and my mom specifically. And so I've got two brothers, and you know, I wasn't a super athletic kid, but when we would go out in the street and play ball, you know, my parents would say, "Play nice but win," and you know, it kind of stuck. And I guess I learned a lot of great things from my parents, but you know, they were very uh, ethical and honorable people, and you know, were very kind of fair in how they treated everybody. Let them win, and so you know, play nice but win sort of stuck with me from my childhood. It's what we talk about at Dell, and you know, we believe in winning in the right way, and turned out to be a nice title for the book.
Michael, when you think about all your success in business, as a father, as someone who gives so much back to the community, do you attribute that? Because I attribute a lot of my business to my sports, and I kind of just brought it over. What were things that inside of you made you kind of just? I know you had some failures early on. What made you keep going and be such a leader?
Well, I never occurred to me to not keep going, and look, I'd say I was very fortunate to have been born in the United States, and I had, you know, a great set of parents, and I was around at the dawn of the microprocessor age, which was sort of the beginning of what became, you know, the PC age, and yeah, I was interested in science and math, and I got exposed to, you know, the things that ultimately became the PC. But before then, it was teletype terminals and things like that, and that stuff just kind of fascinated me, and so I fell in love with it. And you know, instead of doing other things, that's pretty much what I did. So I was pretty nerdy, probably still am pretty nerdy, and um, and you know, that's kind of been my passion. And you know, I was always excited by technology, and then when I saw how, wow, you could like have your own computer and you could program it, thought that was so cool, you know. And so I've just been following this you know, exciting path
Hey,
since I was a little kid.
hey, Michael, I know, like me and a lot of other people that are kind of in our age group, started collecting baseball cards. I understand you also collected baseball cards. You had some of your heroes like Hank Aaron and others. At what point did that venture of collecting cards kind of convert into your business interest?
So yeah, I mean, like a lot of kids, I followed baseball and collected baseball cards. Kind of figured out I could make a little money with it, which I thought was sort of cool, because that was like a puzzle and a game and kind of fun. But then I started seeing these entrepreneurs, you know, and this would have been like in the early to mid 70s, and guys like Charles Schwab and Ted Turner and others that were creating companies, and they were, you know, my parents, you know, talked about business and the economy all the time, and so you know, I was reading about these disruptors, these people that were creating new businesses. I thought that was pretty cool. So you know, learning about business and companies, and my mom was a stockbroker, and so you know, I was learning about finance from her, and then Bill Gates and Steve Jobs came along, and they were, you know, starting companies in this area that I was really interested in, and I thought that was super cool too. So yeah, it was, you know, as I was sort of 10, 11, 12, that
Mike,
time frame.
I love that. And, you know, it's interesting that the one thing that I've been so impressed with dealing with some of your team at MSD, you always have like the smartest, great people around, but also they do things with a certain class and ethics and morals. And you do play nice, but you usually win. Has surrounding yourself with the best team has been something you thought about from very early on?
Yeah, I mean, well, you know, life is a team sport as far as I'm concerned, and you know, I can't do much of anything by myself, and um, you know, great teams are an incredible multiplier, and for me, it's been super important to, you know, surround myself with the best people, find the best people to help at every stage, and when we're going into new things, yeah, you want that expertise, and there's no substitute for it, for sure.
I love that. I love that. So you go from collecting baseball cards to team ownership, and I know that you've done a lot in team ownership from a lending point of view and all of that. But at what point did you start thinking sports is a place I may want to enter as an investment? Is it a passion play? Is it both? And why San Antonio?
So MSD has had, as you're no doubt aware, you know, a history of providing credit and financial support to a wide variety of sports teams and leagues around the world. And it's been a great business, as it turns out. And to be clear, it's been a business oriented approach to it, right? You know, I wouldn't say we're doing it for fun as much as we're doing it because it's a good investment and a productive investment. And look, the media aspect of sports is incredible. These are valuable media properties, as you know, and you know, there's a limited number of them that are attracting the attention and the eyeballs, and they're exciting, and you know, people are incredibly passionate, as you know, about sports. Uh, I've always kind of really liked basketball. Games are a little shorter, you know, and it's fast action. Um, my son loves basketball, and you know, we had Kevin Durant here in Austin at the University of Texas, and college basketball is really fun because you can literally, you know, see these kids right under the hoop, and they're, you know, they're just kids, right? And they're having fun, they're doing their thing, and you're watching them develop. And uh, you know, we've always loved the San Antonio Spurs. We got to know David Robinson back, you know, in the day. You know, you won't find many finer human beings, you know, than David Robinson, and you know, the Admiral. You know, we watched him win a couple of national championships, and have always loved the Spurs. And yeah, an opportunity came up to purchase a part of the Spurs, and they're not too far away from us here in Austin, so it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm going to with my partner Mark Laurie. Uh, we just acquired the Timberwolves, and we're really excited to be part of the NBA family with you. Great leadership with Adam Silver. Is a global sport, is a young demographic. I have two young daughters. I have to drag them to baseball games, and they're the first ones in the car when we go to NBA games. So really excited about that. We're heading to the game tonight in Brooklyn in our last preseason game. You know, one thing, Michael, is that, you know, people don't often see the struggles of an athlete or a businessman or a business person. They don't see the struggles. They don't see, but we do struggle and we have failed. What are some of the lessons learned from some of those failures?
Well, I think almost all the really valuable lessons are the ones that you learn from failure. and nobody succeeds without failure, and failure is just sort of the fundamental ingredient in every success. And particularly when you're doing new things, there's a whole bunch of experimenting, trying, learning, failing, get back up, do it again, and you got to have a lot of sort of grit and determination. And, if I look at our greatest successes as a company, a lot of it, if you dial back the clock, comes from we screwed something up really bad, right? and we learned the hard way, the way forward, and it felt horrible at the time. We were, just getting started, and made a big mistake in our inventory management, and we had just gone public. We were about a 5-year-old company, and I felt embarrassed and kind of ashamed. Here we are on the world stage, and it was kind of a dud. Well, it turned out that learning led us to become absolutely world class in supply chain. And I don't think we could have read it in a book or watched it on TV or heard about it from somebody else. I think we actually had to experience that kind of searing failure ourselves to internalize the lessons in a way that ultimately created a level of understanding and knowledge about how to succeed, and it's serving us well even today.
I have just 2 more questions. I'm so intrigued because it's so much fun for me just to hear you, and been a longtime fan of everything you do, as we say, on and off the field, but on and off the boardroom with your give back. You're in your mid-50s now. You've reached the top of the mountain. I'm sure you feel like there's another mountain to climb. There always is in some capacity. But if you were to give Michael Dell some advice, 21, with the knowledge and lessons you've learned today, I know a lot of young people are going to read your book. They're going to read it for inspiration. What would you tell young Michael Dell at 21 and the millions of others that hopefully read your book at that age?
Well, unfortunately, I don't think young Michael Dell at 21 would have sat down and listened to that advice. So I'm not sure how much it would have done me. I was a young man in a hurry. I would have loved to have known a lot of the things that I know now about developing people, developing talent, and certainly in the book, I share a lot of those lessons about my own growth and development and mistakes made along the way, and a bunch of the lessons. I was pretty quick to get angry, when I was 21, and I've kind of learned over time that that's not really such a great thing, and don't stay angry, and it's just not productive. So, but yeah, I mean, I think if somebody had sat me down, I don't know that it would have worked.
So, Michael, I guess last one for me. I found it great that what made you feel comfortable this time opening up about your family?
Yeah, so this is a lot more personal of a book, and we went through a lot as a company, and I'm just more comfortable being vulnerable and sharing what I was thinking and feeling, and I do share a lot about everything that went on in my life from my childhood, and certainly my family as well, and I hope it's instructive. I hope there are lots of lessons, and I hope, as you said, there's a lot of challenges that go along the path to success. And I describe all that. It's not a straight path up for sure. It's lots of two steps forward, one step back, and that sort of thing.
Well, I commend you, Michael. I know that there's going to be so many people that are going to learn a lot from your lessons, and obviously we're all lucky to read your book. I can't wait to get through it. I'm going to get through it in a couple of days. I have the playoffs and World Series that I'm covering for Fox now, but I will get on it. Michael, just kind of last question here. Is there anything that you want to share about the book that I didn't share, that I didn't ask?
Yeah, we really did some pretty mammoth transactions. We for those who may not be aware, we did the largest conversion of a public company to being a private company ever in technology, and that was pretty hard to do, but it accelerated our transformation. And then after that, we did the largest merger acquisition ever in technology, and really accelerated our transformation. And so that was a lot of fun. And yeah, your audience may enjoy reading about.
Quick follow up on that. Taking a company public to private. A lot of our listeners and viewers don't really understand what that is. How hard was it, and why did you think that would be an asset for your company long term and your shareholders?
Right. So when you go from being a public company to a private company, you're essentially buying all the shares back from the public. And it's a really complicated process, because you have to make sure the shareholders are treated fairly, and anybody can, essentially the company's up for sale, right? And anybody can buy it. And it turns out that I and Silver Lake were the folks that had the highest bid. And what that enabled us to do, in the business world, there's kind of this 90-day shot clock of quarterly earnings. And back in 2012 and 2013, we didn't really have permission to go invest aggressively and transform the company. So being private at that time allowed us to really accelerate our transformation, invest aggressively in R&D, new products and innovation, hire thousands of additional salespeople, and really, evolve the company in a big way into cloud and software and security, and then do this great big combination with EMC and VMware, and that created an even stronger company. So, yeah, it's all
taking it from public to private. Then the largest acquisition that you mentioned.
Say again?
Did you find that to be more challenging, taking a company from public to private than the large acquisition that you mentioned?
Oh yeah, it was way more challenging than I had imagined. We had an activist investor, Carl Icahn, that showed up and made a lot of trouble. You'll remember that, and it was kind of a news story every day for about 6 months. But ultimately we got through that, and got to the other side, and this year we'll have maybe a little more than $100 billion in revenue. So it's all worked out.
Holy smokes!
Thanks,
Michael. You're a legend. Thank you so much for all that you do for the community. You're a great father. I know a lot of your work, because I used to live in Texas playing for the Texas Rangers. So I know you more for what you do in the community, and you affect people. You work at University of Texas, the whole thing, but hope to see you soon, and I cannot wait to finish the book. And everybody that's listening, go buy the book right now. Thank you, Michael.
Thank you so much. Yeah, great to be with you. Good to see you. Take care.
Bye now.
Bye-bye.